Welcome back to another episode of Inspirational Journeys of the Best Minds. Today's special guest has revolutionized the way global companies attract and retain top talent. Meet Rachel Goh, one of IMERGE's latest APAC Luminaries Award winners. With over 2 decades at Nestlé, she is the force behind transforming employer branding and recruitment marketing strategies at the global food and beverage conglomerate. Rachel is a zone head of global employer branding and recruitment marketing, where she is playing a pivotal role in redefining how one of the world's largest F&B companies engages with sought-after professionals. Her expertise and insights are invaluable to anyone looking to understand talent attraction and brand management. We are thrilled to have Rachel join us today to reflect on the lessons she has learned over her career and her own personal growth as an employee, mother, and wife, all while leading global teams at Nestle. Welcome, Rachel. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with us today.
So much, Jackie. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really, honored to be invited. And what you guys are doing here at Emergy is really something I'm really passionate about. So I love the format. Very well done.
I'd like to kickstart the conversation by asking you about your path to where you are today, starting from your childhood. So, what did you want to become as a kid, and how did you get started in your career?
I since young I wanted to do public relationship because love dealing with people and I know that it's something that I can do well. But then when I got to offered to do my university, I got an offer in psychology, so I ended up not doing public relationship. And when I started work, I actually went into marketing instead of HR, and somehow I end up in HR now. That's when one of my friend from my university actually told me there's a job opening in Nestle. So I have then been with this amazing company until now. Yeah. So yeah, so that's how I started.
Mm. So, where did you grow up, and how did that affect your path?
I grew up in a small town called Malacca in Malaysia. I'm not sure, have you heard of it before? Yeah, and I think maybe growing up in a small town like Malacca, I'm a very trusting person. And I think in many ways very genuine because we are very simple and things like that. So I think that affected me. And the other thing that affected me is actually my late dad. My late dad, he has very good interpersonal skill and public relation skill. I think maybe that's why it's one of the things that I wanted to go into public relationship. I learned something from my mom. My mom is a very resilient, lady that doesn't complain and things like all right. So when my dad actually business went into failure, but she was actually there to really make sure that become the breadwinner of the family. She was a teacher, and then that's where she took out lots of tuition to make sure she helped my dad, and also to make sure that we are successful in life. So in that way, it also teaches me the how to have the grit, right, the actually the resilience, and how to really to have the empathy in life as well, and to have kindness. So I think this is some of the things that when I was growing up that kind of impacted me.
I love that perspective. It's very positive.
Yeah.
I'm sure people really appreciate your
Yeah,
positivity
I
too.
mean that's what I'm like. My mom is like, even through she had to go through such a difficult time, but she embraced it with so much positivism, and yet she's able to let go now and enjoy her life. So this is something that really makes me, really impacted me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something to look up
Yeah.
to. So, what would you say is something that you've learned about yourself throughout the years?
I think my tenacity and my right, I never give up. You can ask my family members, you can even ask my team members, right? I don't give up. I say that nothing is impossible. If you try hard enough, you will surely get it. And I also do not want to look back, one day and regret that I have not done my level best, right? I just
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that, yeah, and that is something that I can just bounce back and pick myself up quickly and do that, right. And this is where that surprisingly, yeah. And the other thing is I'm a practitioner of the law of attraction, right. And now sometimes when I look back at my all my vision board, and think that a lot of things in my life I have actually ticked, right? And I think that that is really important, that you really need to strongly focus your mind. When you do that, your body will just actually bring you there, and you, without realizing it, you achieve the things that you want in life.
Mm. That's amazing to see how much you can achieve if we set our minds
Yes,
to it.
definitely.
So, tying that to that, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced early on in your career?
I think if you ask me about this question, right, the biggest challenges that I face is, one of it, I'm saying that I don't know how to stop. When in my early career, I really don't know how to stop. I just want to work so hard. I just want to perform, and when your boss complimented you and you want to do even more, right, you just don't know how to stop, right? And that is one of the biggest challenge that I face in my earlier career, right? And the other challenge that I face in my earlier career is when, actually, is the relationship with my parents-in-law, right? And maybe just take a step back, right? My husband, right, we actually met each we are both from a lot of people thought we actually met each other. Is University of Malaya. It is one of the similar, right? So a lot of people thought we met in university, but we didn't, right? I only met him after he came back from his masters in UK, and I started working. And when I met him, he had done say that, dear, I have 100% of my parents' attention. You only have 33% because I have three siblings, right? He said you only have 33%. And as in life, it comes with positive and negatives, right? My parents-in-law, they're amazing. They provide such a support system to us that we are able to do well in our career. And because we don't have to worry about our kids, I can go traveling for work, everything. I don't have to worry because I know that my children will be in very good hands. But at the same time, being a single child, there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of expectation as well. So I think the ability to be able to have that resilient, to be able to be cool, calm, and also to compromise in life, right? To For the bigger picture, and I think that is really important. So if you ask me, that are the challenges I face, right? I don't know how to stop, and I have to. It's really difficult, right, to juggle, to be like a good wife, right? A great mom, yeah, and also at the same time really excel in your career. So this is where that, yeah, I find that that's the challenges that I face. Yeah.
Mm. Well, from what we can tell from your LinkedIn, you're doing a great job of juggling all three.
I hope so, right? Yeah.
Do you have any specific moments or experiences that were turning points in your career specifically?
Yes. Remember, I just said that I don't know how to stop earlier. I think the turning point for me in my career is when, one day my husband was telling me that I think you are just working too hard. You don't know how to stop. And it's true, right? And I think that was like a wake up call for me, right? My husband is a man of few words. He doesn't complain a lot. He doesn't say a lot. When he says something, I better, so yeah, right. So I think it was a wake up call for me. So I start to then look at myself and start to reflect and think, what is it that I want, right? I really want. And I find that then I'll tell myself, up may not be the only way, right? And I was still telling myself that I realized that my family is the most important thing for me. I want my family, my husband, my children to be very successful. So I then told myself that, I have to make a decision. And I then from there, I actually, prioritized, and I pivoted, and I never stopped from that, right? So I know that my utmost is I cannot compromise on my family, and that is where that's the key turning point for me, right, in my career.
Definitely. So, what
Yeah.
tying to that, what is the most important lesson you've learned in life?
um like I saying that most important lesson just now I mentioned, like up is not the only way, because I find that I may not be like the C suites or like at the top, the right on top of the company, right? But again, it's the choice that I made at the time that I find that which are the priorities in my life. So, and I think that when I look at, my husband now, he's an amazing husband, he's successful in his career, and I look at my children, right, who are successful as well. I look at that and how they are able to kind of appreciate what we do for them, and able to kind of even articulate like the kind of values that we instill in them, right? And to tell them that we have, they can even tell us that they realize now one of the biggest asks, is to be a parent, right? In life, the biggest ask in life is to be a parent, right? And also saying that we have done so much to give our best to them. Now is their part, their role now to do their part as well, right? So I mean, to now if I look back, to have kids who are sensible, who are mature enough, and to do that, I think I have made the right decision, right, at the time, right, when I choose to prioritize that. All right. The other important lesson that I would like to share is also that you just have to be, you can have an equally fulfilling career when you're really, really passionate about what you do, right? And what 5 years ago, when before I started this role, I actually brought my children to Silicon Valley. So we went to visit Google and Meta, and of course they are very impressed. And I told them, right, it's okay, mommy is going into this role to build employer branding, right? Give me time, right? Because I know, coming from a marketing background, it takes us years and years to build a successful brand. So it's like, of course, the perception of Nestle, right, uh, among the Gen Z, right, it's not like, all of them want to join the tech company, or the startup, right? So of course Nestle is not the top choice of, company for the Gen Z. So I told them it's okay, give mommy time, right? Mommy will do something that I will really want to change that. So me and my team, we are very proud, and we started this 5 years ago, and we have been having like we started to conceptualize very strategic campaign, really doing employer branding from a very different lens, right? And really putting in the marketing elements to that, how we build successful brand, right? And that is where that we started many campaign, and one of it is called Next Level Digital, which we are all very proud of. So we have done so much, digital acceleration, digital innovation, and Nestle, but somehow it's like a best kept secret. We like only we know, right? Or the few people that join Nestle know about it, right? But people out there don't really know until they join us. So the whole campaign is about us going out there, and it's amazing. We have so many authentic leaders, senior leaders, subject matter experts across the globe, across different functions, all coming together to support us. And we are into our third year now. And that's why I'm quite familiar with the podcast format that you are having now, the Riverside, because we have been recording all the leaders as well. So, but it's really so fulfilling. So I'm saying that when you are super passionate about something, and you get your team, also passionate, and that's how we really love what we are doing. And we, I would say, we can continue to do it. There's so much to do here. And yeah, really the lesson, I think, be super, super passionate about what you do, and be consistent. Be
Mhm.
consistent, so that to build strong brand, you need to have that consistency.
Definitely, consistency is key. I've seen us posting a
Yes.
lot on social media, and it's definitely making an impact over here.
Oh, really good to hear that. Yeah, I think we are like super passionate, and we are so proud that, or the kind of, I don't know how to say it, the joy, the kind of fulfillment is so rewarding when you have leaders like, yeah, sometimes you just need to ask them, right? And we even get them to do TikTok, and they are so happy doing that. But it's just such a amazing experience.
As we all know, leaders make a huge impact in how the business is run. So, what are some of the most important leadership lessons you've learned throughout your career?
And I think I'm not the only one that say this. I have seen that most people also say that. I think it's really the authentic leadership. Lead with your heart, like really, be true, be passionate, and also your team, or the people around you can feel it, right? So really, you need to lead with, authenticity, and create environment that's really positive, right? So that your team can then come here and just give the best. right, of themselves, right, and bring, when they showed up, and they'll be there. So I think that will be one of the important lesson. And then the other one is, like I mentioned again and again, be super passionate about what you do, because when you are passionate, then you really will enjoy both your career and your work at the same time, right? And the other thing that I would say, that make your team really really successful, right? They can help you to move mountain, right? And I'm very very proud to see that, to see my team member now, they are going to places, they are going to have successful career. So that really makes me very very happy, right? So make them because I don't want to just me success, right? I want my team to be successful. So I think, to me, that is very important as well. The other thing is really walk the talk, right? Practice what you preach. You just don't want to be NATO. You preach and you don't do it. You live, but you really need to show the example, and that is a very important thing. And the last thing is really, you need to unlearn to learn,
Mhm.
right? Always be open-minded, hungry. And I learned so much from my team, right? They are all so young, they teach me, these are the jargons, these are the gadgets. And I'm very proud to say that, because now I can go back to my boys and say, do you know this? Oh, mommy know this, you don't know, right? Let me tell you. Right? So I guess that is why that I really enjoy working, because it gets me, really be in trend, right? Yeah.
These are great lessons.
Thank you.
Who would you say is the most influential person in your life, and how did that person impact you?
Yeah. I would not say just one. One of it, I'm sure that you probably will know, is my mom, right? She, not only as a mother and as a wife, but even as she aged, she continues to kind of impress me and be my source of inspiration. And now she is like, can you imagine having your daughter-in-law? My sister-in-law is telling me that my mom is great, right? And like, oh, mom is such a easygoing, open-minded, and she embraces technology. Can you imagine? She will actually, uh, she plays game in
No
Singapore. She
way.
stays in Singapore with my brother. She game, and then one day she called my son, Marcus, do you know that, mommy, no, Papa, he called Papa. Papa is one of the top
No
gamer in
way.
Singapore. She actually got, on that, she got a notification to say that she's so proud, right? And other than that, the grandchildren loves her, right? All her grandchildren just love her. They will call her and say good night, and then keep on like, I love you, and this and that. So I think she's really really successful in many
Mhm.
ways, as every role she play, even until now. She go dancing, she teach her, younger people how to dance, she choreograph dance for them.
Wow,
So absolutely amazing, right? Yeah. And she's my inspiration. This is how I want to grow. I want to be a mother-in-law, that my daughter-in-law will be, and I also want my grandchildren to really really love me. Yeah, so she's my source of inspiration. And the other one I would say is one of my
mhm.
ex-boss, right? And yeah, she's also very much, I love how passionate she is. She really have coming from a very good place. She wants us to be successful in our career, and she really teach and coach, right? Because and that's how that I find that we have a very genuine and passionate heart. So there again, she's another source of inspiration for me, right? So, and also very balanced, and how she balanced to have bring up very successful children, and also having a family. So I think both of them are my actually people that really inspire me.
That's beautiful. So, what advice would you give to aspiring professionals or people just starting out in their corporate careers?
I think for me, firstly, they have to be, you need to love what you are doing so that you can be passionate. Secondly, that be confident, right? And really you need to be confident, right? And also network, right? I think to be able to network, to have that PR skill is really very important, right? And also to create visibility for yourself, right? While you work smart and work hard, you also need to make sure that you kind of create visibility, and that is really important. And then the other one is really just need to open your mouth and ask, right? Because right in this now, if you don't know anything, you ask. And if you need to, a lot of senior people as well, you can just, you need anything, you can ask them for advice, right? And things like that. So I think these are very important thing. And people skill, interpersonal skill, right? I think the young people nowadays, they're spending too much time online, right? Not, you have to learn in real life how to have that interpersonal skill as well.
Absolutely.
So which I find that these are very important skills that the young people, people who are starting out career, that need to have.
Is there anything that you wish you knew when you were starting out your career?
I wish somebody, when I am starting out my career, would have told me that FMCG is actually one of the best place to start your career. I Nestle is actually my second job. My first job was actually in one of the trading company. Right, I was impressed by the high salary and the nice working environment. Right, but then when I go into Nestle, I realized that, oh my God, the depth, the things that you can learn, and it's so fast paced, and everything. When we talk about, for example, CCSD, there's so many things in CCSD. You talk about marketing, it's really in depth, right? And you can learn, and the kind of global opportunity and everything. So I wish someone actually told me, but yeah, so that is something that I wish I had known before I started off my career.
Hmm. So we always end on this last question. If you win a lottery and money isn't a factor, what would you do with your time?
Um, I was nothing will change. No, I will still continue to do what I'm doing. To me, I kind of already, won my lottery, right? I'm able to now spend a lot of time with my family, traveling, right? And also kind of going around looking for great culinary. One of my son loves to cook, right? And also for life experiences. And the other one is really my fitness journey, right? Since the post-pandemic, um, I think putting on so much weight have really helped me to really take a good look after pandemic, to really I start to go into to have my PT. I go into aero yoga, I go into K-pop, right? And also one of the things that is unfortunate thing, that is one of my husband had a freak accident during the pandemic, so it kind of injured his eyes, but then since then he has recovered. But he was playing badminton, right? And that accident happened. So then it kind of, I wanted him to start golf, right? And because of that, and now we start picking up golf, and we are now able to really play together as a family. Even my boys also pick up, right? So I think this is something that yeah, is very nice to be able to have a fitness journey, right? Together with family. And the other thing is my career, right? And I think I really love what I'm doing, and I always say I can continue to do this, and on, because there's so much to do, right? Especially in terms of employer branding, which I feel is something that is still very niche, and it's something that we can do a lot more in this space, right? And yeah, and the other thing is continue to support my children and even their partners to be successful in life. So I guess I wouldn't want to change anything, and maybe something that I may want to do more, and it's really thanks to this program that and your invitation to this. I have always wanted to share my life experience, especially with those that we are the young couple that are starting out. I have not really put myself to start doing that, right? And maybe this show, or this program is a very, good way to ignite me. For me, probably I can share a lot more. So hopefully, some of this can actually help people who are, out there, than to have to bump, to hear that they wish they know, right? Yeah.
That's great. You're on the right path.
Yes. Looking forward, to share more.
Yeah, this was a really fascinating and long-awaited conversation. I'm so glad we got to talk in on virtually. Your energy is super infectious. I can tell that you are a great leader. But thank you for taking the time today. I really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Rachel.